Okay, we are back for another feature in the paint layer. This feature, it's called physical paint, and it depends on some forces and physical rules, and it's going to be have some interaction with the 3D model. And for activating this feature, you just need to come over here and use physical paint, or you can just use Control 1 to active the physical paint. Okay, so all the setting related to the brush is the same as a default paint layer, but we have a physical section. We are not going to learn everything related to the physical item here because uh, it's huge and we cannot cover that in this course, but we can use some preset inside the library and we can tweak some parameter to achieve the result that we want. So let's go into the asset library, and in the brush section I'm going to search particle, and as you can see we have some preset here and we can use it. For example, let's go for the broken glass, and when I click here, as you can see we have broken glass effect, and it's going to follow our form like this. Okay, we can use other template. For example, let's use leak, and this leak is going to work with the dynamic and particle system inside Substance Painter. Okay, and as you can see, it's just follow the form and the shape, and this is the result that we can have with these brushes. Okay, so let's remove the layer, add another paint layer. I'm going to use, for example, veins. Okay, and in Substance Painter we can have this kind of effect with particle brushes or physical brushes. Very easy. Okay, let's create a fill layer. Let's add a black mask, and in the black mask I'm going to add a paint layer, and in here I'm going to use veins. Okay, and as you can see we have a mask on a fill layer, and now we can change the layer data. So very easy, very fast, we can create so many interesting results with physical paint. Okay, and what is the setting? As I told you before, we are not going to cover all the setting, but we can tweak some setting to achieve the result that we want, and you can play with the other setting and study about that and figure out if you like it. But the main parameter in the physics section in the brush is particle life and particle speed. So if I increase the particle life, it means when you click and the particle is created, the duration of the life of this particle, it could be more or less. So let's decrease, and when I click here, as you can see the particle goes away very fast or died very fast. But if I increase the particle life, and if I click here, as you can see, they are trying to be live longer. So this is the particle speed, and you can decrease the speed. Okay, or maybe increase the speed and have some fast particle. So We can tweak this parameter to achieve some random effect or result. And for example, in the league, let's remove all the paint here. Okay, let's go back to the brush. I'm going to select league, and in the league, we have particle life. Again, we can decrease the life, and the leak is like some dirt. But if I increase the particle life, the result should be like this. Yeah. And with this parameter, we can control the result, but I suggest to stick to the default one and just play with the speed or live parameter. So this is for the physical paint. We have physical erase, as you can see. Okay, let's use laser. Yeah, that's it. And you can create so many interesting effect and result with these physical brushes. For example, let's use rain. Okay, and as you can see, we have some rain effect and rain surface detail like this. Yeah, it's perfect. So this is the physical paint in Substance Painter. I suggest you to play with the template and what you have here in the library and when you can use it in your project. Okay, for example, this one, it's so perfect for creating organic pattern, or this one, or you can use veins. Yeah, like this, and you can have some interesting pattern on your surface. Okay, that's enough for the physical paint. Now let's go for the next one. The next feature in the paint layer is polygon fill. And polygon fill, it's a very good tool for creating mask. Depends on the topology and the UV island. Okay, so let's what we have here. We have triangle fill. As you can see, I can select each triangle in the topology. I can select polygon fill and select any polygon on the topology. I can select mesh fill, and it's going to select element on the model. It means it's going to select all the attach or connect surface together on the model. Okay, and let's remove the paint layer and create a new paint layer. Let's go for the UV chunk fill. And in the UV chunk fill, you can select the UV island. Very fast, very easy. So the question is it a tool that we are going to use it a lot? The answer is yes, but not in a paint layer as a color painting or something like that. We are going to use polygon fill tool and features on the mask, and they are so powerful. They are so powerful, and we are going to use this a lot. For example, I'm going to create a fill layer and call it 2. Okay, the color is red and it's just color, and I need to select the inner circle. Okay, so how we can create a mask for this? We can add a black mask, we can add a paint layer, and we can go to the paint let's go to the 2D view, and now we should paint this section. And for avoiding this kind of issue, we can, for example, change alignment to the UV, size space to texture, and let's paint again. Okay. And that's it. So we just do this thing very easy, right? But there is a better solution for that. Let's just hide this paint layer and let's add another paint layer, and let's go to the polygon field, and with UV chunk field we just need to click one time on a UV island, and it's going to select all the UV island perfectly. Just one click, not entirely paint across the UV and make sure there is no issue on the border on the other UV island, and this kind of issue that we should or we could have. Okay, so this is the best way to create mask, depends on the topology and UV island. So this feature is my favorite feature in the masking section. Okay, so let's go for another feature in Substance Painter. It's very good, it's very powerful, and maybe we can use this feature in some project with some technical aspect. We use that inside Photoshop a lot for retouching and fixing the images. Okay, so let's add a fill layer, and now I'm going to load a texture in the base color, and I just need to have base color. Let's increase the tiling to something like 2, and as you can see, we have the seam on the texture. Okay, so the classic way is to go to the Photoshop and offset the texture and remove the seam and create tileable. The modern workflow is like going to something like Substance Sampler and use make it tile or this kind of filter to create seamless texture. But we can do some retouching on the texture inside Substance Painter directly. We need to create a paint layer, and now we need to change the blending mode to pass through, and pass through give us this power to collect all the data related to this channel and gather the data on the layer that we are going to work. So now I can go to the clone brush, and in the clone we can select source. For example, I'm going to hold V and click in here, and now I can brush and remove the seam like this. Okay, and that's it. You can use the source from here to make some variation in here too. So this is the way that we can use the clone brush inside Substance Painter. The most important thing here is to change the blending mode to pass, because in this way we can access to the data from down layer. We have two different types of the clone, but the function, the main function, it's so similar. The difference is the way that the source is work. For example, in relative source, the source location is going to be changed when we move the mouse. But in the absolute source mode, we are going to choose the source position and it's fixed. And when we paint and release the brush, it's going back to the location that we set before. So this is the only difference between the clone with the relative source and the clone with the absolute source. Okay? So you can control what material channel that you want to clone in here. But the main point is there is pass blending mode for the layer in a specific channel that we want or not. For example, you can sample metallic or normal or roughness or height or base color or any other type of channel that you want, but you can only see it when in the layer section on the channel you change the blending mode to pass. Okay, so this is the very important thing, very powerful tool for fixing up the resources that we are going to use from outside the Substance Painter. Okay, let's go for the next tool. Next tool is the smudge. And when you select smudge and you want to see the effect on the surface, you need to change the blending mode to pass through on the paint layer. Now you can create this kind of effect on the surface very easy with the smudge tool. Okay, that's enough. And I think we are ready to start our first project inside Substance Painter. With that knowledge we gain through this video till now, and let's go for the next video and start the project.